Well, I'd like to welcome back from Irvine Clinical Research, Dr. Trin. It's been a while since you've been on.
Yeah, good to see you again.
He pops up. He goes away and then he pops back up. Always good to see you, sir.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's fun to have you here. And you know, one of the main things that you're an advocate for and talk about is Alzheimer's, of course.
Yes.
And I think that's like your number one, something that you're so involved in.
Right.
And let's go, you know, since it's been a while since you've been on.
Yeah.
I kind of remember the causes of Alzheimer's.
Go for it.
Let's see. Circulation, inflammation, and toxins. Am I close?
Ken, I'm so impressed.
Well, how many times? Yeah, am I right?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I love it.
So let's talk, and it's not written down here, folks.
Right.
I remember that. So let's go into those a little bit, and then we're going to talk about this program that you're working on and this study. But let's first talk about very briefly circulation, of course.
Definitely. Circulation, we are finding out, is a huge issue.
Yeah.
And if I were to take 10 patients with Alzheimer's, 8 of them will have high blood pressure. High blood pressure is a circulation issue.
Okay.
If I took 10 patients with Alzheimer's, 4 out of 10 will have diabetes. When we think about diabetes, we think about sugar, but the fact is patients with diabetics die from heart attacks and stroke.
Okay.
Which is circulation. So what happens is that the sugar destroys the circulation and patients die from circulation problems.
Okay.
If I took 10 patients with Alzheimer's, 3 will have heart disease and many will have high cholesterol.
Okay.
Because the cholesterol obviously clogs the circulation. It's a huge issue that we've seen. And so we're finally addressing it with an exciting study.
Yes.
That I want to talk about.
All right, we got a photo of this.
Right.
And I don't know if you've talked about this once before. It looked a little familiar to me.
Right.
But when you first look at that, you know, it looks a little kind of medieval there. But there's a real purpose to this. And you're going to tell us this has to do with circulation.
Oh, yes. Have you ever been in the hospital or ever visited somebody in the hospital where you saw these little leg squeezers on their legs and they kind of compress the legs? So there's an official name for this, but I just call these the leg squeezers.
Okay.
Right? And this is interesting. Many of our studies, or most studies, you're taking a pill, you're taking a shot, you're taking some medication, right? This is a memory loss study that requires no pill and no medication. And this is what we do. Patients are coming into our office. They lay down on, looks like a massage table, and we put these compression devices, right? I call them leg squeezers. We put these leg squeezers down their legs, and in between each heartbeat, you get a squeeze. So heartbeat, squeeze, heartbeat, squeeze, heartbeat, squeeze. If your heart was beating 70 times a minute, it's squeezing your legs, you know, compressing your legs 70 times a minute.
Okay.
So the question is, what does this have to do with Alzheimer's and memory and dementia, right? I mean, so we know that in the brains of patients who have dementia, specifically Alzheimer's, their brain size shrinks over time.
Okay.
So the brain gets smaller and smaller over time. So if I were to MRI somebody's brain with dementia and Alzheimer's, their brain gets smaller.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that they're losing brain cells. Brain cells are dying over time in patients with Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And we believe that a large contributing factor to this is circulation. Poor circulation, not adequate circulation to support the existing brain cells that are there. And we talked a little bit about the plaque that builds up, right? The Alzheimer's plaque, we've discussed that. But along with the plaque, what's happening is that the existing brain cells that are there aren't getting adequate nourishment, they aren't getting adequate support. So as a result of that, brain cells are dying and the brains shrink. So the whole goal of this study is really simple. We believe that if we can compress your legs, right? When your legs getting compressed, where is that blood going?
Right.
It's going up here. We believe that if we can expand, improve, and increase circulation to the brain, we're bringing additional oxygen to your brain. We're supplying additional nutrition to your brain, right?
Right.
We're washing out junk, right? We're helping with inflammation. As we improve blood flow, as we improve circulation up to that brain, we are hoping to support the brain cells that are there with improved circulation. So the question is, how do you know if this even works, right? How do you know if this works? It's really simple. This is what we do. Before we start the treatments of the leg squeezing, we do a baseline MRI of the brain. So we measure the brain size. We measure the brain volume. We measure the hippocampus, the area of the brain that stores memory. And then we do the treatments. The study's about a year, around that time span, or a little bit over a year. And then at the end of the treatments, we do a follow-up brain scan. And we compare the size of the brain before and after treatment. And we believe that if we can provide additional circulation, open up any collateral circulation, provide additional oxygenation, provide nutrition to the brain, and support the brain, we believe that we can prevent, and it is our goal, it is our hope, that we can prevent the brain from shrinking.
Now, let's say all this comes to fruition. You prove this point. How often would somebody need to come and do this? Let's say this becomes almost a normal type procedure.
So
at least at this point, I don't know if you know, but you know the answer to that. But what do you predict? If people have to come in.
It's going to really depend on the results and the data that we get at the end of this study, right? And if we can prevent, or if we can slow down the brain from shrinking, that means we have prevented brain cells from dying. Right. And when brain cells die, we lose memory. So as far as the frequency and how often and all that, that's going to depend on how the results look. But this is the interesting part. This device that you see here is already FDA approved.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah. In Memorial Care, right? I've been sending patients for this treatment over the last 10, 15 years for a different indication. We are using this device already. Saddleback Hospital area is where I send patients to. We're using this device now for cardiac patients.
Ah, okay.
Oh, yeah. So in patients with heart problems, where their arteries are clogged, and if we can't get in there to do a bypass surgery or put a stent in, right? And those patients where we couldn't do a procedure to help, many of these patients, I sent them for this device. And what this device does is that, it's squeezing the legs, it's squeezing the arms, with the same idea of getting additional circulation to the heart.
Wow. And so at least in one aspect it works.
It works.
And I would think that, let's say this you prove that this works for Alzheimer's, you could get to the point where they have a home version of this.
Yeah, that's
the way technology goes.
Right.
So somebody could every morning do that or whatever.
Exactly. So this is an FDA-approved device for the heart. We're now looking at the brain.
All right. Very good. Now, of course, this, in a sense, I'm understanding what you're saying because we've had proof of this as far as going back when, back after in the 1950s and all, when pilots were now going the speed of sound, and they had what's called G suits on, which of course pushes the circulation up and the blood up so they don't pass out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the theory is there. It's been there for,
the theory is there
for decades.
And this is an amazing study simply because you don't have to take a pill.
Yeah, that's really nice. Hey, I want to give people a way to contact Dr. Trim, and for free consultation on this, his number is 949 753-1663. And you can call that and still call the Healthy Brain Club?
Yeah, Healthy Brain Club, get a consult with us, and we'll see if patients are a candidate for this. It's a really popular one.
Very good. I know we'll see you back again.
Oh, yes.
All right.
God bless.
Always good to see you. You too.
You too.
We'll be back.